Okay. Hello everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes. Let's say the greetings together. Put your hands together and say, "Hello, Venerable Sir." Together.
Hello, Venerable Sir.
Nice. Hello everybody. So let's start with meditation. Just make sure your legs, hands and face are well visible in the camera. Everyone can prepare this already before we start. In case if later Dave starts earlier than me, I would like to ask Dave to check everyone whether they have their legs, hands and face visible in the camera, so that I don't have to wait for that.
Sure. Involve your legs covered. Your legs is covered with the clothes. Your knee, sorry. Your knee needs to come. Yes, that one. Yes.
Nice, that's much better. Okay, looks good. Seems like you're ready. Very fast. So, make sure your back is erect. How do you make sure your back is erect? Think of the top of the head and the ceiling above your head. The top of the head needs to be close to the ceiling as much as possible. So how will you do that? Well, you need to erect your back very carefully, and also by rocking back and forth, you can try to find the angle where the top of the head is the closest to the ceiling. Alright? And when you have found it, then that's the place. And we can cast the sight down. We will see the floor in front of us throughout the 10 minutes. We will meditate 10 minutes. And we make the first determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy. And we continue in this manner to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy. And you can be curious whether it becomes heavier or lighter when you are aware of those muscles and flesh. continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy. And we enjoy the heaviness. We allow it to be even more heavy, very heavy. And as we experience this heaviness, we also experience peace. What is peaceful? When it is not restless, when you are not afraid, when you do not worry, when you do not have pain, when you enjoy this time, that is peace. And also we don't need to be afraid of whether we make a move wrong or right. We are not moving at all, so we cannot make a wrong move. And so we enjoy this peace, free from stress and restlessness. This peace is entirely ours. We can enjoy this present moment. now let's share this peace with other living beings. We can start in the room where we are, whether there are insects or humans or animals or anything at all. We allow them to be in peace. If they are in peace, they will allow us to be in peace too. But first, we need to allow them. So we start allowing, radiating, wishing. In our minds, voicelessly we repeat, may all beings in this room be in peace. May all beings in this room be in peace. We gradually expand our thoughts of loving kindness. May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. May all beings on this planet be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, we will make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. And with that determination, we will just change our sitting posture. Do not rush up to your devices yet. And when we have changed our posture, we'll nicely change our posture. Everyone, please. Yes, Tembong can also keep his leg like this by the side. Can you do that? Yes, yes, very well, very well. Alright. Do you feel comfortable? You need to keep one of your legs like this by the sides. You're doing it? Okay. You know, your legs can be stacked up one on another. You see, this is one leg, this is another one. Can you do that? Can you sit like this? It's called mermaid posture. Yes, very well, very well. So now we will take 1 minute during which we will absolutely not move. This is very strict, okay? And we'll be observing what's going on in the mind. Does the mind see, hear, smell, or think? Whatever is there, we are curious about that. And no movement at all, 1 minute. So now you can return to your devices if you like. Alright. So everyone can unmute yourself. You can keep your hands together like this at the chest. So I will say Yamahang vadami tang vadetha, which means what I say you say, and you will just reply ama bhante. So let's try that together. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. No. You just say ama bhante. Okay, so let's try that again. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Okay. So now you're going to request me to give you the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts out of compassion. Aham bhante. Okay. Yes, you repeat after me. So let's try that again. Aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ yājāmi. Anuggaham katvā. Sīlaṃ detha me bhante. Anukampaṃ upādāya. Dutiyampi aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ yājāmi. Ideally your fingers will be straight or somewhat straight. Okay, and you keep your connected hands at the chest, including Ao. Anuggaham katvā. Sīlaṃ detha me bhante. Anukampaṃ upādāya. Tatiyampi aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ yājāmi. Anuggahang katva Silang deta me bhante Anukampang upadaya. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So make sure you repeat after me, and remember to keep your hands straight or a little bit bent like a lotus bud, like this, okay? And keep it at the chest. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So now come the three refuges. There you remind yourself that the Buddha's teachings, Dhamma, and the community of monks, Sangha. Community means the group of monks who follow the Buddha. The community of monks, Sangha. All three, the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, they show you the path. They guide you to be happy in this life and after and in the next life as well. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Listen to me carefully and repeat what I say, please. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. I still hear somebody saying Sangha. So let's try for the third time, and please everyone be careful. It is Dhamma this time. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tembong, you are breaking it. Don't do that. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tembong, be mindful. Be here in the present moment. Watch what's your mouth doing, okay? So we need to do it one more time. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. So Tembong alone. Can you say tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami?
Your connection's a little bit off. Sometimes I hear a
You don't hear it completely, but now you could hear it.
yeah.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah, when you said now you can hear me the first time, it like cut off a little bit.
Yamona, can you see Tembong fluently and hear him?
I can hear him, but I can't see him.
Okay.
Because I can see everyone.
You can see everyone and fluently moving. I can also see everyone and fluently moving and hear everyone and also fluently speaking. So I wonder if it is a connection on your side. Anyway, it was tatiyampi dhammang.
I can see everyone.
Okay, yes, thank you. It was tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. So let's try that, just me and Tembon. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. I cannot hear you at all.
I think you're going a bit too fast.
Can you? Okay. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Very well, thank you. Now everyone can repeat after me. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. So now I will explain to you, or I will announce to you, that taking the refuges, going for refuges is complete, and you can reply ama bhante, which means yes, venerable sir. So let's do that together. Saranagamanang paripunnang. So now come the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts are very important, because only if you follow 5 precepts, you can be a human again. You are now healthy human because you followed 5 precepts in the past. If you want to be human also in the next life, or at least human, you can be a human, God, or Brahma. If you want to be at least a human in your next life, you need to follow these 5 precepts very well. So, the first precept is, I follow the precept of refraining from killing living beings. Refraining means avoiding, not doing. So you can repeat after me. Everyone keep your hands together at the chest. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. The second precept means, I follow the precept of refraining from taking what is not given. It means we never steal. So you can repeat after me. Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. So the third precept means, I follow the precept of refraining from sexual misconduct. It means we protect others' families, we do not break others' families. Remember to keep your hands, yes, together at the chest. Kame sumicchācara. So let's try that again. Kamesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. The fourth precept means I follow the precept of refraining from false speech. It means we never ever tell lies. So you can repeat after me. Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. The last precept means I follow the precept of refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. We never drink alcohol, we never take drugs. Surameraya Majja Pamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. So now I will encourage you to protect the three refuges and follow the five precepts very well and be mindful. Why would you be mindful? Well, if you are mindful, if you know what's your mind doing, you can also know that you want to break one of the five precepts before you break the five precepts, so that you don't break them. If you know it in advance, then you can stop it. If you don't know it in advance, well, then you cannot stop it, right? So we are careful and mindful, and that's what I encourage you. And then you can reply Ama Bhante, yes, Venerable Sir. So let's do that together. Tisaranena saddhing pañcasīlaṃ dhammang sadhukang surakkhitāṃ katva appamadena sampadetha. So now I will wish you to be happy, healthy, and attain Nibbana, and you can then reply Sadhu, 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 which means well said. So let's try that together. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Yes, very well. Okay. So now I think we will continue in our story. Does anyone have does anyone remember what we were talking about the last time? Yes, Angela?
So, Prince Siddhattha wanted to go to the,
Yes, I'm listening.
what was the garden again? Like the name of the garden?
Channa. The charioteer? Are you asking me about the name of the guide of the prince? Angela? What are you asking about?
I forgot what was the garden name again.
I think I don't understand you. Can you please repeat it and speak slowly?
I don't remember what was the garden name.
A garden name.
Siddhattha.
Royal Garden.
So, Prince Siddhattha was going to the royal garden, and then when he saw an old man, he felt sad and disappointed, and he told the chariot, "Who's that man lying down?" And then the chariot explained to the prince, and then he told the prince, "All of us will be the same thing like that old man."
Yes, thank you very much. Daniel?
I thought last week was talking about the sick man that which was lying in his bed, which was covered with filth, and he was very sick.
That's right.
When the prince was not happy, but he came back after like 4 months. And
It-
then the sick man was there, and
It-
then he wanted to come back.
Yes, did we write a note from that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when the Buddha to be saw the sick man, what did he first do? Oh,
I only knew one part, and it was the part where we talked about Phil.
it's the same thing. So if you remember, what did the prince do right after he saw the old man for the first time? Then you also know what did he do after he saw the ill man.
I think he asked the guy who was
What
what's
did-
it called, the charioteer?
Yes, he asked the charioteer. That's right, the driver of the cart, the driver of the car. What did he ask the driver?
Why the old man looked sick, I think?
Excuse me? Why?
Why the man looked sick?
Why the man was sick? No. Anyone knows what exactly did the prince ask his charioteer? Yes, Jonathan?
He asked him about him.
Excuse me?
He asked like what happened to him and what did they tell him and like what happens to him.
I don't hear you well. Can you please talk louder?
He asked the charioteer who was that guy and how did he get look like that.
You say he asked the charioteer, how did the ill man became? How did the sick man became sick? Is that what you say?
And like who is the sick man?
Who is a sick man? Well, but first he needs to know that this is a sick man, right? So, Yamuna, do you remember? Were you here when we were looking at these two things, at these two stories?
No, but I think he said, "Who is that man?"
That's right. He said, "Who is that man?" Very well. How do you know it, Yamuna? You were watching our recordings?
No, because my mom couldn't find the recording. I just read it in the book.
You read it in the book. Which book?
The one you gave us.
So that's interesting that this is written there as well. Good. So that's the point, because the prince. Thank you, Yamuna. The prince, he did not know. The prince, he did not know what this is. He saw a sick man, he saw an old man, and he didn't know what to do with this. Never saw it, you know. So imagine that you would be a person from old times and you would see a phone for the first time. You would not ask how to use this phone. First you would ask, what is this? Only when you would learn that this is a phone and you can use it to call somewhere, then you would ask why or how. You know, how can I call? How can I do this? So in the same way, first the prince had to find out that this is someone called a sick man. Sick man, what is that? Like if you say this is a phone, well, phone, what is that? If you lived 1,000 years ago, someone brought you a phone, then you would ask, hey, what is this? And they would say, it's a phone. And then you would say, what is a phone? Because you don't know it. The same way, first the prince found out that this is sick man. But what is sick man? How is that related to me? You know, for example, how is the phone related to you? It is related to you by the very fact that you can call from that phone. All right? So Therefore, the prince was wondering, how is this related to me? Is this sick man's sickness related to me? Is this old man's old age related to me? Because if it is not related to you, well, then it's not very interesting, right? It is more interesting if it is related to you. So that's why he asked. Okay, anyone knows who will be the third kind of man that the Bodhisattva will see? Jonathan, Yamona, Daniel, okay. Rere, anyone else? Angela? Anyone else? Lyric, do you know who will be the third man? Yes, okay. Anyone else? Dulanlei, do you know that? No? Okay. Do you know who will be the third man who the Bodhisattva will see? Alright. Thank you, everyone. So we'll read that. You can remove, you can, how to say that? Lower your hand, or how do you say it? Keep your hand? How do you say it in English? Jonathan, how do you say it? If you raise your hand and I want your hand to put it down, how will I say it? Put down your hand, or keep your hand, or remove your hand? What will I say?
You can say like lower your hand.
Lower your hand? Okay, thank you. The Bodhisattva's Sangvega. Anyone knows what's Sangvega? Sangvega means trembling. It means trembling. Like when there is, maybe you have seen it, when there are leaves on a tree and there goes wind, there blows wind through, then the leaf is trembling like this. That's trembling. Sangvega is trembling of a person. It is when a human is trembling. And why would the prince be trembling? Well, the prince is trembling out of fear. The prince is trembling out of fear. Anyone has any idea what kind of fear could that prince have? Yamona, any idea what kind of fear the prince could have?
And he is scared to be sick.
He is afraid that he may get ill, yes. Jonathan, anything else that the prince may be afraid of?
I think he's afraid of suffering.
Suffering, well, I don't think he still understands what suffering exactly. Tembon, anything, any idea what the prince may be afraid of apart from getting ill?
Scared of what? Scared of being old?
Scared of getting old. So now he has seen an ill man and he learned that everyone will get ill. Well, then he is afraid of being ill. He saw an old man and he heard that everyone will get old. Well, then he's afraid of getting old. And therefore he is trembling. So, as has been said above, although the charioteer merely explained the painful, unbearable, oppressive worldly nature of illness, as far as he understood, the Bodhisattva, like the lion king and befitting one who desires to become a Buddha, knew distinctly on reflection that birth was the prime cause of illness and of the above mentioned old age. So the prince realized that the problem is not exactly being ill. The problem is not exactly getting old. Something else is the root, is the main cause of the problem. Okay. Lyric, do you know what is the real cause of the problem?
Being born.
Being born, that's right. Thank you. So, now the question should come. If you are not born, can you get old or sick? What do you think?
No.
No, you cannot get ill. You cannot get old if you are not born. Back at the Golden Palace, the Bodhisattva prince reflected with penetrative samvega. We have a little spelling error over here. Oh, birth is detestable indeed. Detestable means that it is despisable, that it is that it makes you disappointed. To whomever birth has become evident, to him aging is bound to become evident. Illness is bound to become evident. Having reflected thus, he became cheerless and morose, and remained gloomy and dejected. And guess what did the king do? Like in the previous case, the king again increased the strength of the guards. King Siddhattha sent for the charioteer and found out that the prince saw the sick man. And then the king thought, like before, that he needs to increase the guards, and then ordered further increase of guards to be placed every 3 gavutas in the 4 directions. 3 gavutas is a measure, and it's not exactly clear how big it is. Anyway, he also arranged to appoint more palace attendants and dancing girls, again to delude the prince, to create the illusion that actually life is beautiful. And then comes the third man, seeing the omen of a dead man. Deceived and distracted by the 5 pleasures of the senses, increasingly provided and arranged by his father King Siddhattha to deter him from renouncing the world and becoming a recluse, Prince Siddhattha spent his time enjoying the pleasure and luxuries of the palace life, and his sense of religious urgency, generated by the detestation of the nature of birth, old age, and illness, became slightly diminished. When 4 months had passed after living such a life of luxury, the Bodhisattva prince again rode out to the royal garden, in the chariot drawn by the thoroughbreds as before. Here it is. On the way, he saw the omen created and shown by the Devas for the 3rd time. Namely, a crowd of people and a stretcher, bier, decorated with multicolored clothes. Stretcher, that's the thing where you place a dead man, and then one person carries it from behind and another one carries it from front. That's called stretcher. And again, the prince is asking his charioteer, who are these people, what's going on, what's the stretcher? And the charioteer explained, these are people who gathered around and prepared the stretcher before, because someone has died. And then the Bodhisattva, who never saw a dead person before or even heard of the dead, he asked him, if they are assembled and engaged in making a stretcher, drive me to where the dead man lies. So then the charioteer said, "Very well, young Majesty," and drove the chariot to where the dead man was lying. When the Bodhisattva saw the dead man, he asked, "O charioteer, of what nature is this dead man?" The charioteer replied, "Your Majesty, when a man dies, his relatives will never see him again, nor will see his relatives any longer." Well, because they're dead. So they cannot speak, they cannot do anything, they're gone. And the Bodhisattva is trying to understand it. Thereupon the Bodhisattva prince asked further, "O charioteer, how is that? Am I also subject to death like that man? Am I also one who cannot overcome the nature of death? Will my father, mother, and relatives not see me again one day?" So the charioteer replied, "Your Majesty, all of us, including Your Majesty as well as I, are subject to death. There is no one who can overcome death. It is certain that one day your royal father, mother, and relatives will not see you anymore, and it is equally certain that one day you will no longer see them." So this is not just for a while. This is gone forever. You can never take a dead person back. Alright, so that's all for today. I think we'll look at the note. We will write the note next time, next week. Does anyone have any question about dead man? Okay. So Angela, can you tell me how did the charioteer explain dead man to the prince? Yes? Do you remember?
No.
No, do you remember how did the charioteer explain dead man to the prince?
Okay, so he said that one day that everyone he knows one day not gonna see him or anyone else ever again when they turn too old and die or something.
Oh, you are muted. Yes, you're muted. Okay.
Well, I was muted the whole time.
So, but I asked you, right? Anyway, anyone else can tell me how did the charioteer explain to the prince who is a dead man? Right?
He explained when everybody was dead one day and the prince will never see them or her or him again.
That's not exactly what he explained. So, what about Tulanlei? Can you tell us how did the charioteer explain who is dead? What is being a dead man like to the charioteer? What's the main problem?
That it was just suffering.
Can you please speak clearly, maybe directly to the microphone?
It was just suffering.
No, not at all. Danielle?
That when he dies, none of his relatives will ever see him again. Neither will he see his relatives again.
That's right. Exactly. That's what I want to hear. Nice. Very well. Okay. Are you here with us? Yes. Can you now say, can you now please reply to me, how did the charioteer explain to the prince who is a dead man?
He said that a dead man was someone that could never see their friends or family ever again.
And 2 parts. You said 1. Second part. Angela, can you help him? What is the second part?
That he wants.
Angela.
So in order he won't see his relatives and family.
And that's what Aung said, right? But there is the second part.
That none of his relatives and his family will see him again.
That's right, that's the second part. So neither he can see the relatives nor the relatives can see him. Alright, so that's how the charioteer explained who is a dead man. Alright, later the Bodhisattva, when he becomes the Buddha, he will understand death much better. Alright, but for the start, this is pretty good. When you are dead, you have lost your relatives. You cannot see them anymore. They're gone. And they have lost you. When someone in your family dies, they have lost you, and you have lost him or her. No way to get them back. And the problem is that this will happen to all of us. All of us will have to die one time. That's why the prince was so dejected and returned to the palace again, not enjoying the royal garden. Alright. Anyone has any question? Yes, Daniel?
Will he ever actually go to the royal garden?
I don't know exactly how did it happen, what happened with the royal garden. This story is famous, but I have never read it in this original, in this book. So I don't know the details. That's why we go through it, so that you learn it and I learn it with you. Yes, Jonathan?
Was like all the dead men and all the people crowding around him, were they all like illusions, or were they actually like devas dressed as humans?
Yes, they were devas. Actually, it is implied here. It is implied here. Devas for the third time, yes, shown by devas for the third time, namely a crowd of people and a stretcher decorated with multicolored cloth. So indeed, it was shown by the devas. Whether they were really humans, whether they were really devas taking the appearance of humans, or whether they were just an illusion, so there were actually no devas, no humans, it was just illusion, just seeing an illusion, that we don't know. But we know that the devas were behind this scene. Alright, so thank you everyone for coming. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana.